everybody, let's talk about what this Aquarius full moon has in store for us coming up on Saturday, August 9th. Now, what does the Aquarius full moon mean? Well, a full moon is when the sun and the moon are in complete opposition to one another out there. So the sun likes to shine a light on what needs to be seen, and the moon likes to reveal what's hidden. So when we have these two forces going against one another, things are revealed and things come to the surface, right? So that's why a full moon is always a good time for release, because things become aware in our conscious mind. Now, Aquarius is the sign of innovation. It's the sign of future vision and the collective consciousness of the world and mankind around us. So when we have that full moon in Aquarius, we are being invited to kind of step back, right? Kind of get a bigger picture of everything. We're asking to take a step back from maybe the emotional reactivity of things, because Aquarius is very logical thinking and it doesn't have time for the emotional stuff, right? And so it's good for us to kind of step back from the emotional component and see the bigger picture. Now, this full moon brings those breakthroughs. Like I was saying, it shines a light and it brings clarity. But where it's doing that is how we relate to freedom. What does freedom mean to you? What does individuality mean to you? What does authenticity mean to you? And how does that correlate with the systems that we live in, work in, relate in? It is a time for releasing those limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck, that are keeping you limited, and reconnect you with your soul's truth. Especially, right, as we prepare for, as we get ready to go into the eclipse season that's going to be happening here in September. We're getting ready to do some purging. So this is when realizations come through, especially when the moon is in Aquarius, because remember, that's forward thinking and it gets those insights that come out of nowhere. So this particular moon is called the goddess moon. You know how we have all different kinds of moons throughout the year. It's called the goddess moon because it activates divine feminine energies and intuitive healing. It's not just about rebellion here, because Aquarius has that side. It says, I'm stuck in something that doesn't feel true and authentic to me. I've got to release myself. I've got to free myself of it. So that's where this rebellion feeling may be coming up in that. But this isn't just about rebellion. It's about sacred remembering. That's why it's considered a goddess moon. And especially because we've got the 8-8 portal, the Lion's Gate portal, that's happening literally the day before that. And that brings through psychic downloads and insights. So our spidey senses are already going to be on high alert anyway. So there's a lot of messages that are coming through in this full moon. Now, what else is involved planetarily is we have that sun in Leo opposing the moon in Aquarius. Remember, we talked about a little bit about that. So the sun is shining a light on your personal power, and your the moon over here is focused on those collective needs of everybody else, right? It's saying, Leo, you need to shine your light. And Aquarius says, use it to uplift others, make this world a better place, right? That's kind of part of what it is. But it also goes on a personal level too. It says, you know, you need to shine your light, Leo, or Leo energy, right? You don't have to be a Leo, just anybody. Where do you feel like you're kind of getting pushed aside? Where do you feel like your needs aren't being met? Where do you feel like you're being minimized? Leo has a way of making sure that we get credit where credit is due. And if we're missing that in our life, Aquarius, its opposing sign, gives us that ability to say, hey, this doesn't feel right. Let's communicate about it and let's talk about it. So that's how it can happen on a personal level too. So now we also have an asteroid known as Chariklo, and it's conjunct, which means aligned with this full moon. So now this is a bit of a sacred asteroid, I guess, in the world of astrology, you can call that. And it's associated with deep spiritual healing and intuitive medicine. So now her present calls forth your inner wise one, right? And it supports space. It's holding without self abandonment. And this is a really important thing because remember, we have these downloads coming from that Lionsgate portal anyway in this time frame, really helping for you to stand in your power and to accept the gifts that you have for moving forward in this life and your life purpose. So now another thing that we have that's kind of involved with that is Venus and Virgo. Now Venus, of course, is a planet of love and money, harmony, and balance. And so when it's grounded in this energy, it gives this refined love, this ability to set gentle boundaries within our relationships, and it gives us this ability to really practice self-care as well. So you may be feeling that over this weekend as well too, where you may be feeling that there need to be adjustments in your daily life so you can make that time for yourself because you deserve it, right? Absolutely. Now, so with full moons, right, and especially when it's one that Uranus is involved with, or if it's the Uranus ruled sign of Aquarius, change may come suddenly. Full moons having a way of making things reach a breaking point. Change may come through suddenly, but it's aligned with your long-term growth and your best interest at mind. It's focused on who you are now, not who you were 10 years ago, right? And with eclipse season approaching us really, really soon, this is your last big energetic clearing. Best time to do it is at full moons. The best one before we step through this karmic portal that's going to be happening, in the fall. So it's time to release what doesn't align with your soul's evolution and what isn't feeling true or authentic to you. So now for each one of the signs, let's focus on these, right? So Aries, you are releasing old, outdated group dynamics. This is happening in your 11th house of the networks that you surround yourself with. So you're ready to be stepping into leadership that reflects your true purpose. And friends that reflect that back to you too. We are the company we keep, right? And I think this is a full moon of recognizing and realizing who really fits who you are now and who's holding on to a version of you that you've long outgrown. Taurus, this is happening in your 10th house of career and soul's purpose. So career clarity and responsibility come to a forefront. Let go of old, outdated ambitions of what you feel you should have been doing. Give yourself some grace and let this full moon really illuminate for you what does bring you joy and what does bring you happiness. Now, Gemini, trust those intuitive nudges. I tell you what, especially when it comes to thoughts that come through clearly, maybe advancing your education, improving your spirituality, going back to church, whatever it is, traveling, anything that makes you feel like you want to break out of ruts. You already have this push anyway because we've got Uranus that moved into your sign. It's giving you a preview of what the next 8 years have in store. And spoiler alert, a lot of that is you being completely different than what other people are expecting you to do. So this full moon may be coming up, helping you to realize and get in contact with what makes you happy and what type of steps you're going to need to do in order to explore this new version of yourself. Now, Cancer, deep healing around emotional entanglement and power dynamics comes up for you in this full moon because it happens in your 8th house. This is the house of death, trauma, loss, crisis, psychology. So all of those issues that we tend to repress to the back of our mind because we don't want to focus on the pain or deal with it. This is the full moon that says this is where the transformation happens when you let go of the power these things hold over you, whether it's old traumas, old belief systems, old power dynamics, old relationships. This is where they come to the surface and they show you where they don't work. This is a perfect time for letting them go, or at least letting the universe know, hey, I'm willing to let them go. Leo, this is your full moon. Hey, major shifts in your relationship. This is happening in that 7th house of marriage and partnerships for you. So this is something where some of those issues and relationships, especially repetitive issues, may come to the forefront. Those ones I was saying earlier where it's like, am I getting recognized for the efforts I put in? Am I getting the accolades that I need? Am I getting the appreciation I deserve? Am I getting the love that I deserve? this is definitely one of those full moons that brings those things to light. It highlights where those issues may be occurring. Now, balancing your self expression with your independence is going to be important, because you don't want to come out with the lion full on, you know. It's a good time to have those constructive conversations and come up with creative ideas for how to make changes moving forward. Now, Virgo, revamping your daily habits and to support your mind, your body, and your spirit, it's going to be huge. This is sixth house where this is happening. So this is the house that you naturally rule in astrology. This is literally about the daily habits. What do you do day to day to keep yourself on track? And I tell you what, after doing astrology for 15 years here, I have definitely come to find that if you have strong Virgo, so that's a Virgo sun, a sixth house sun, a Virgo moon, you know, an ascendant in Virgo, you are definitely somebody that needs to have a daily regimen, whatever that is. I tell people, even if it's just having hot water with lemon at 8 o'clock every morning, your physical body needs some sort of regimen to keep everything else balanced in life. So this might be a full moon where that illuminates for you areas in life that need to shift and change, so that way you can have a schedule, because it impacts everything else. Now, Libra, this is going to be a full moon of letting go of creative or romantic blocks. This is happening in your fifth house. This is also the house that deals with children. So there may be some issues that surface with your children, maybe how they're getting in the way of your creativity or your romantic blocks. Regardless, right? These things surface for a reason, so they can be talked about. That's what Aquarius wants, is authentic communication. So this is focused on your house of joy. This is a time for reclaiming that joy. Now, Scorpio, family and ancestral healing is huge. This is huge for you. This is happening in your fourth house. This is time to redefine what home means. This is time to redefine what family means and what that looks like to you. Now, there may be some surfacing. That's what full moons have to do, right? They like to bring things up to the surface that normally are hidden. So there may be some old family beliefs, old family dynamics that come to the surface in this time frame. It's best to just look at them and say, okay, I see what you are, and it's time for me to redefine that. I'm in control. I'm breaking free. That's what Aquarius wants. It wants for us to break free of what holds us back. Now, Sagittarius, you're all about speaking your truth anyway, right? That's what your sign means. So rewiring your inner narrative as this is happening in your third house, this is giving you the ability to say, I realize where my thoughts create my reality. And if my thoughts are telling me things are going to go wrong, it's never going to go right, nothing's going to go in my favor, then you're recognizing that you get more of that. This is a full moon of helping you to realize what that inner critic and the inner narrator are telling you, and making it work better for you, who you are now. Capricorn, second house of money and value. Definitely getting a hit in this one. It is shifting your abundance mindset. It's shifting, making you recognize and realize maybe where you have been not appreciated at work, and what needs to be done in order for you to get the raise or whatever it is that you need. This is definitely something where those value systems change as well too, because this is one of those moons where it makes you recognize how valuable you are, your talents, your skills, your gifts, your abilities, and it may also bring some of those latent ones to the surface for you this weekend to say, I can make side money doing this, and maybe it actually makes me happier. Just a thought. Now, Aquarius, this is your full moon. This is happening in your first house. Personal reinvention begins. You've already got Pluto moving into your sign. That happened in November of last year. So a lot of the Aquarians have already gone through this, but some of them are just starting it. It depends on where you land in Aquarius. If you're an early Aquarius, then yes. Pluto, the planet of transformation, moving into your sign, hasn't been there for 250 years. This is a time frame where it's saying we are reinventing the wheel of who you are. And this newest version of you may look completely different than what people are used to, may act completely different, and that's okay. Your personal reinvention begins. And this full moon has a way of bringing that to light. So letting you see how far you've come or how far you need to go in this journey. It's about letting go of outdated identities that no longer fit you, because the world is ready for the newest version of you. Now, Pisces, this is a time for honoring your need for solitude. I tell you what, an energetic boundaries. This is happening in your 12th house. So for you, 12th house, this might be a weekend where you just need to be around people, right? You're a natural empath. You're going to soak up everybody's energies. And if people are dealing with full moon energy to begin with, you don't want that projected at you. Stay at home, stay in, do what feels right to you. Honor those needs that pop up. And also, maybe it's a great time for reassessing your boundaries in general, your spiritual boundaries, your energetic boundaries, and your relationship boundaries as well too. Where are people taking more than they're giving back? That might be a good one for you. So pretty much that's what we got going on for this full moon. I am a big one for journaling and writing in this time frame. Do whatever feels right to you, right? If you want to physically release any of these things that we talked about, you can literally just say, universe, I don't want to carry this no more. I'm ready to let go of it. Some people love to journal. I have a link down below with my moon planner that I created for this year, and each one of the full moons and new moons is in it with journal prompts to help you really get into the energy of this moon. So you can check that out below if you want to do something like that, or even just write it yourself. Whatever feels right, just do what you feel led to doing. That's the great part of spirituality, right? There is no wrong way. So do what feels right. Everybody have a wonderful time. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.